Hello again, everyone. With only 2 matches left in this series where Millenium has 2 wins to 1 for the Ninjas in Pyjamas, we're getting right down to the wire. And Millenium could actually seal up their spot in the Summer LCS with this game that's coming up right now.
And going back to game 1, after the game I was like, whoa, NIP looked very, very strong. After game 2, I was like, yeah, you know, it's a very long game, could have gone both ways. After game 3, all of a sudden I think Millenium is the favorites now. I mean, the comms have been working for them, the late game things have been working, NIP didn't have an answer. Dexter said it as well, how NIP is not a team who just closes out games very, very fast.
Yeah.
So Millenium, obviously, they just figured out. Pick full late game comp and survive early mid game and then just take it from there. If they get the same kind of comp here in this game and NIP won't be able to respond, I see Millenium take it.
A pretty decisive finish at forcing the surrender even after picking up that Baron in the last game. And as he said now, it leaves NIP to having to completely turn their fortune here and win 2 games in a row after losing 2 games in a row. Very, very difficult, especially when you've already seen NIP and how their players react to this kind of pressure. Yeah, very hard.
You saw them before, after the game, 5 people just sitting there, stone cold, looking into the screen. Didn't even talk with each other, just sat there like, what's going on? I mean, they really need to now show, as a team, they've grown, and they know how to come back from a defeat, and they know how to change things up. It's always, this lineup here always had the issues when it came to adapting during games, doing a big series, like, ooh, what should we ban now, what should we pick now, and predict the tactics being used by the other team, and this is really now the game where they need to show, we have learned this, we're better now than we were 3-4 months ago when we played against KMT, and this time we can now win this game, going to the last one, which is of course going to be an all or nothing game.
Well, it's time to get your hashtags ready once again. Will Millenium win the series right here in this next game, or will Ninjas in Pyjamas force a game 5? All you have to do, tweet hashtag NIP win or hash MIL win to at LOL Esports, that's the one, and we'll check in shortly to see how you voted. Something tells me that vote will be swinging even further than it did after the second game Millenium win going into game 3.
I think people are going to go like 65% Millenium now. I mean, and it's well deserved. Millenium, especially in the last game, were the better team. Started the right fights, got to late game, and from there on there was no chance for NIP to ever respond back with anything. Coming into this game though, we talked a little bit about it shortly in the game, and then also a little bit after the game. How Nocturne needs to be a ban from NIP, or needs to be picked by Hulberto as like the first thing. Because it's just, they have no idea what to do against it. Like KottenX, every single ultimate he uses gives something, a kill, an objective for Millenium. They need to ban away. And also need to possibly even like a rise to something, like get rid of this late game power from Millenium.
Well, we're going to find out exactly what's going to be banned here as we head into Champion Select for game number 4. Millenium on match point right now on LCS Summer Split Point, we can really call it. If they win this one, then they are safe. And there it is, the Nocturne ban from Ninjas in Pyjamas. We'll see if Millenium switch up their strategy as well. Up till now, it's the same. Lulu banned out by them. A Rise ban as well by NIP, so they're totally changing their strategy.
Just hitting towards the late game power Millenium had in the last game. We could even see Kha'Zix being banned away. We could see other late game champs. It is going to be the Kha'Zix. So Jax is left open for the first time. I'm not sure if Zorozero wants to first pick it, or they don't mind giving the Jax over to Kevin, which, newsflash, is also a very strong late game champ.
Wonder if they're going to leave Kha'Zix open and NIP will take that first with the Nocturne ban.
Could do.
We'll see about this one. Final ban coming out. Won't actually be a change here, I think. They're going to stay, with LeBlanc. First pick was very quick here. Lucian taken away. This time, for the first time actually, towards Creaton, but that leads to incredible champions for Millenium. Jax and Kha'Zix. 2
of the strongest champions at the moment. 2 champions who work scales into the late game as well. I mean, of course, Jax and Rise, both of them are complete monsters in the late game here. So Kevin, he'll be very happy. But of course, Ninjas in Pyjamas, they would have known it would be the Jax. As soon as they didn't ban it, as soon as they first picked the Lucian, there was no chance Millenium wouldn't pick a Jax here. So obviously they must, there must something ready against it, because it was a very expected pick.
Kha'Zix, it's a case of what's the evil of the two champions. He's already done well on Nocturne, so get rid of that. Let him play Kha'Zix and see how he does with that one, maybe. We are seeing more picks coming out, though, for NIP. Leona is the choice for the support, and they're going to take Shyvana here for that top lane for Zorozero, champion which he's played multiple times. He's a very good Shyvana player.
Very, very strong Shyvana player. Still, issues for him going into late game. Jax will be able to out-sustain him and force him out of the lane. So that can be an issue for NIP. And also, wow, Twisted Fate was actually left open by Millenium, and they might be picking it up this time. If they do take the Twisted Fate here with a Jax on the team as well, that is 1-3-1 split push. That's going to be very hard to deal with for someone like NIP.
Let's see whether Kerp wants to do that now, though. Well, apparently he's going to answer that for me by just locking that one in. So Kerp will be playing Twisted Fate, and Graves also coming back into the mix.
So Graves is actually a still fairly new AD carry. A lot of people in NA plays it, and one of the reasons he's very, very strong at the moment is the fact that people in this meta, they will dive towards you, and you're very hard to kill. You're one of the hard AD carries to kill because of your passive gives you extra armor, and at the same time, the closer people are to you, the more damage you do with your Q, of course, with your ultimate to the first target right in your face. And he was buffed as well here in 4.5. More damage with the ultimate, less mana cost on his dash. So he's a very good pickup at the moment. Only downside could be, well, his wave clear is fine, but it's not like a Caitlyn when it comes to wave clear, or Sivir when it comes to wave clear. And if Millenium wants to 1-3-1 split push, they would really want someone to wave clear a lot in the mid lane, while TF then could be in one lane and Jax in the other lane. But of course, if they are together as a team, Graves plus TF is enough wave clear.
So NIP gonna round off their comp here with Kayle, a champion which basically stopped them joining the LCS. So you can't forget those games that Overpower had on Kayle against them in the spring promotion tournament. Also, the Lee Sin being picked up here for Hulberto.
So with Lee Sin, obviously there's a lot of early game power. Late game, you become more of a tank and a person who can try and set something up with your ultimate, but you don't actually bring too much. Compared it to Kha'Zix as a jungler, he's an absolute beast when it comes to team fights. In your face, 50% damage reduction from his ultimate, very hard to deal with. Yes, okay, you did pick up the Kayle now. You got the Lucian, you got Shyvana, all three champions doing well in the late game. Of course, Kayle's late game was nerfed a little bit a few patches ago, down to 0.6 ratio on his Q now instead of the 1.0 ratio he had before. So his damage is slightly less, but still a very strong late game champ. So NIP going more late game style, but still with some early game here. Of course, Hulberto and Lee Sin can try and apply a lot of pressure. Millenium, their late game again is just looking very, very strong. Laning phase wise, Graves and Morgana is a good lane. If you land the binding, you get some free poke from Graves here, and it's very easy to set up ganks with TF when you have Morgana. Also because he can port in and you can black shield him, so NIP won't be able to just turn around and just instantly kill him like they normally could. So the comp here from Millenium, very, very strong. A lot is going to rely on Kevin on this Jax. If he beats out Zorozero in this 1v1, being late game or being in the mid game, the entire pressure is on NIP. Like, NIP needs to do something then, because if something happens, if they try and go and gank him, TF joins in. Kha'Zix is there with his stealth coming in as well. So this Jax pick for Kevin can be the one deciding the entire game.
And I think NIP have to get off to a good start here, not just because of the way that these comps work, but for their mental state here as well. If they go into this game and end up giving a couple of kills at the start and a dragon, then they're going to be completely down and out, I feel.
I 100% agree. It's one thing is setting yourself up to the game now. Another thing is saying after the champ select, oh, are we happy with what we got here? Are we unhappy? And then when you get into the game, if you get this bad start, that's the way you just start giving up mentally.
Well, here we go then into game number 4. It's 2-1 to Millenium. NIP need 2 games in a row to be in with a chance. Well, if they win 2 games in a row, they're the team going to the LCS, but they cannot afford mistakes at this point. Level 1, will we see anything? We always talk, the Dark Binding from Morgana, Twisted Fate with the cards. That's some nice level 1 action.
Such a good level 1. Graves, good damage level 1 as well if he gets close to a target. He actually decided to bring Exhaust here on Creaton, so the heal is on Jree this time around. He swapped it around here. Could mean we're going to see Creaton actually be one of the split pushers, and then the Exhaust is going to help him in the 1v1s here, especially against the likes of a Kayle, which is very burst focused, like exhaust him when the Q comes in and you take a lot of damage away from it. and then there's some time before the Q comes up.
62% of you now voting for Millenium, and there is that swing. We already started to see a little bit of it move through. Okay, 63%. That's changing constantly. People are going for Millenium right now, and it's hard to disagree with that after two fine performances. Millenium, after going in the NIP jungle on the top side, have done a big route around the map, and they're moving towards the bottom.
And again, also look at the comps here from Millenium's side. If they get 2v2, Morgana against Leona, it's a matchup we've seen quite a while, quite some times. There is room for outplay for Mithy here, where he can engage onto one target, the Black Shield comes onto the target, then he switches over to the other person, locks him down and try and set something up for freeze. But it's hard to pull off, and at the same time, he needs to do it actually, he needs to win the lane then, because going into team fights, the Black Shield from Jree here is gonna stop the engage from NIP. Like if you Black Shield the key target, the one Mithy want to engage on, he's gonna stop it, and then the only thing they got left is either Hulberto landing his Sonic Wave or Zorozero flanking around. Otherwise Millenium can just disengage and just focus on split pushing.
Well, we see a standard start here actually as it comes down to it. Both junglers doing the blue, and the crossover onto their own sides of the red buffs as well. Down in the bottom lane is 2v2 Leona and Lucian versus Graves and Morgana. Jree actually going to get pushed onto here. Mithy going to do some decent damage into him. Freeze just catching Creaton there as well. In the end, Millenium trying to play the pushback game as well, not allowing NIP to get a control and scare them out of position.
It's very important they hit level 2 at the same time, because if Mithy gets level 2, he can instantly go towards Jree without the Black Shield, without the binding, and force a summoner away. So that's why Millenium put so much focus, and here's actually level 2. You see Millenium instantly moved back, like they knew there was a chance of NIP getting level 2, rushed back, didn't want to risk anything, but now both of them got it. And they can stay in the lane for now. Black Shield was the second thing Jree actually took, so I want to stop someone engage.
Well, missing as well. We'll make that easier. Did actually get the Black Shield on himself anyway in the meantime from that one. That makes his bottom lane all the more interesting. Good deep ward there from Kevin. Won't stop anyone coming up through the river. By anyone, of course, I mean Hulberto from Ninjas in Pyjamas. There's a good dash away from Creaton as the Zenith Blade once again doesn't connect from Mithy.
Just for now, both junglers farming away. It's definitely, again, Kha'Zix, fine, you can farm all you want. Dexter talked about it after the game, how junglers where you can farm a lot, because the early game is often a bit passive for NIP, is very, very strong. He can do it here, KottenX. Actually decides to sit ready for potential gank here. Kerp though, with the wave at his own turret, it's gonna be hard, because Nukeduck is not gonna move all the way up here. So just waiting around for KottenX. Hulberto though is farming away, he's going to the wolf camp. He's actually going to hit level 4 before KottenX, so that's slightly ahead this time around.
See if he can actually do anything with this one. And that target, if it's the top lane, already warded off, and Zorozero is, or was recalled in there. Both top laners again are holding the teleport and flash, so expect them to maybe be getting involved around the map, especially once the likes of Kerp actually gets to level 6. I can use that Destiny to become a bit more mobile and have some big impacts. As we are going to see Zenith Blade coming in there. Good Black Shield again from Jree. Timing very, very strong so far on that Black Shield.
And you see how Mithy is moving. Uses E onto Creaton. As soon as the Black Shield is there, he doesn't activate his Q at all. He moves towards Jree. Jree though was too far away. He couldn't actually stun lock him, so no damage coming in. Instead though, both of them just farming away. Very, very even. And we need to see though, when the level 6 from Kerp comes in, will he go towards the bot lane, try to set something up? Will he go up top lane, try and get Kevin rolling? We talked about how good Jax is late game, and he will be able to beat out Shyvana in a straight up 1v1. So it could be the target for Millenium, just get him ahead as much as possible early with all the ganks from TF.
I have to feel that he's got a good target. Stop this Jax from getting to the position where he's just pretty much uncontrollable. He's one of those champions that if he does get rolling, you have such a hard time to actually do anything about it. We see him there just walking past Zorozero to get a ward down. Actually, as it was, Hulberto didn't even bother heading that way. He'd already backed away into his own jungle after getting a ward by the raid camp, which won't matter too much for now. Kha'Zix is still off in his base.
Still off in the base. Both junglers though, again, we haven't seen any action. And another engage from Mithy, backing away. Very fast Black Shield from Jree.
Pretty much can hover over Creaton this entire time, ready to throw that Black Shield on. That's going to be his job. And hitting a binding here and there certainly won't go amiss for Millenium, especially if they want to get KottenX involved on this action. He's now level 5. Kerp will be hitting level 6 here shortly as well. And that means Destiny coming around. There is, in fact, the level 6 hit by Kerp. Hulberto, though, is he going to try and get around the backside? Kha'Zix is on the other side of the jungle there. They spotted him with that ward, so they know exactly where KottenX is.
One thing we didn't talk about yet is the exhaust on Kerp here. We saw Nukeduck in the game 1 with Ghost and Flash on TF, but Kerp decides to go with exhaust, so it's gonna make him a lot stronger 1v1. It also means it's a lot harder for Nukeduck to actually kill him. And that's one of the good things about Twisted Fate here. You can bring exhaust, you can bring Ghost. There's multiple summoners you can bring. You don't need Ignite on Twisted Fate. So you can bring all these good summoners, and that's also why he can stay and potentially even try and 1v1 Nukeduck in the late game. It's gonna be hard though, and he needs to time the exhaust, and that's obviously, it's not gonna be the main thing for Millenium here. They don't want the Twisted Fate to do the 1v1s, but it's at least gonna help him try and survive.
Pretty much a farm game up until now.
Yep.
Both teams knowing exactly what's on the line. Millenium, I'm sure they can do without the stress of having a 5th game to win this series with. Sewing it up here would be a big move from. Look at this Kerp, he's moving. It's not going to be spotted here by a ward. Is he going to commit to this one? Is he going to head down the bottom? They're actually pushed up decently. KottenX is moving in. There he goes. The dot binding lands on towards Mithy. The stun comes in as well. Have they got the damage to finish it off? And there is KottenX now headed in from the side. Exhaust goes in as well.
Oh.
He dives in. Is he going to get the kill? Oh, he does get him there. The first one in the end went to Creaton. Of course, he did end up getting locked up. There's now 3 men in his bottom lane though from Millenium. They can pressure. They need to be careful of this mid lane though, because Nukeduck's having a go at that.
And Hulberto, he should run into the mid lane here, help Nukeduck push it. They can trade bot lane turret for the top one here. They traded 1 for 1. Mithy was very tanky in this engage here. Survived all the way down to his own tower, and then they went for the kill. Even though KottenX, well, he wasn't actually even level 6, so he would not even have a single chance of getting out again once he actually went in.
He got the tower in the bottom lane. How's that mid lane tower doing? See, Kha'Zix is actually moving across to that one.
Survived.
It survived. There we go. And actually, not as much damage as I thought may have gone on to that one.
Hulberto decided not to actually join in and get some damage. He went for the Wraith camp, and now going towards the red buff afterwards. Yes, he can get the red buff, but he could have gotten a lot more damage on this mid turret.
And do you want to dive a Jax? No. Don't want to dive a Jax.
Prefer not.
Yeah, see about that one. Actually, they decided not to go up for that one. He's going to carry on his merry way. In the end, Millenium getting that turret in the bottom side, getting themselves the first blood. Okay, losing KottenX in the process. Trying to save that middle turret. There is the blue buff going to go over onto Nukeduck. Takes him a few swipes, but a few swipes will still get him that. And now Kerp's also going to get the blue. So, go back to the lanes with about a 600-700 gold lead here for Millenium.
With Millenium also showing with the first gank from Kerp here, the bot lane is definitely a target for them. The binding landed onto Mithy, and then they started everything. KottenX was there as well. We should though be seeing later on in the game Kerp put more focus on trying to kill Zorozero up here in the top lane. Of course, it's going to be hard, just him and Jax. They most likely will need to play the Ruin King first for killing before they can go for these kills. But once they actually got it here, they can really apply some pressure onto him up here in the side lane. Still, need to be careful though, they don't give up too much in the mid lane. We saw Nukeduck almost taking down the tower just by himself when Kerp actually jumped away. He's going towards the top lane, no ultimate for him, so he runs up there. He really want to go for Zorozero.
Well, if you don't need to ultimate up there, the stun is actually going to land. It's a red card that he actually pulls there, and Zorozero is going to Dragon's Descent away from that one. Not the card you were looking for, Kerp.
And Kerp actually, again, he sacrifices a lot of farm in the mid lane. He just runs all the way up there. He's gonna come back here for the wave. Nukeduck though staying around, should get some good damage onto him. Never mind, that Q did absolutely nothing.
Not quite what we were expecting out of that one.
He's actually maxing his E now here in Nukeduck, so a lot of focus on the wave clear and the fast push, and not so much on the instant burst damage.
Hulberto actually coming in, will go over a ward, but this is very dangerous, the Q landing. Don't think it's going to be followed up though. Kerp already way out of range. That was a good scenario to pick your right card and not pull out a red or a blue. So good job for that one, Kerp. They still need to be careful about this middle turret though. Nukeduck now with that stinger in there will be able to strip it down pretty quickly.
And it's a bit, no, notice Hulberto here, he's staying around because he spotted KottenX with the pink ward. Cleared away, of course. Very aggressive pink ward, by the way. High chance of the enemy spotting it out, killing it. So Hulberto staying around this mid lane because Nukeduck, he wants to get up there so he can hit the tower a few times, and he needs backup from Hulberto in case something should happen. And it's just, if Kerp holds away one more time, Nukeduck will take the tower. However though, for Hulberto's side, he's playing this in very strong early game, and he's actually been doing nothing. Like, he's not been ganking anything, he's just been staying around the mid lane a few times.
Oh, Kevin here gonna get the counter strike off onto Zorozero. Zorazero's start here is Giant's Belt, double Doran's Blade, and the Vamp Scepter all the way for Kevin. He's got himself that Cutlass in there. And going up towards that Blade of the Ruin King. Plenty of sustain really from both sides. We see them having a bit of a go on each other, but honestly neither should really be in danger of dying without any jungle interference. I say that and you see again just bashing back and forth.
What I like with Zorozero, how he picked up Giant's Build as the first defensive item for him, because remember with Jax there's both physical damage and magic damage, so the straight, like the HP early on here, is going to help a lot. Just if he went for, let's say, a Chain Whisk as the first item, Kevin was still doing a lot of damage to him.
And we see all of a sudden, as Nukeduck goes back to finish off his Nash's Tooth. Got a bit of farm back in this one still. Relatively far behind, 30 CS that he's fallen behind from that one after Destiny into the bottom lane and then walking, quite frankly, straight to the top lane where they weren't able to get that kill. He's missed out on quite a lot of farm in there, but let's see how that affects him later on. I mean, he only needs one kill and that gold's just evened up anyway. Plus the fact that they do have a gold advantage at this stage already. Certainly working in Millennium's favor.
It is a bit of their Kerp style when he plays things where he can actually roam. Like, he sacrifices his own lane just to try and set something up. It didn't work perfectly for them down the bottom lane where they traded 1-1, but they did get the tower. And obviously, I guess, managed to defend their own tower mid lane, so in that case they won out on it. But it's so low, and Nukeduck, with his maxing his eaters, pushes the wave every single time, forcing Kerp to actually stay and wave clear, otherwise he's gonna lose the tower. And Hulberto staying around the mid lane again, been doing absolutely nothing except for stealing a red buff so far.
Well, Blind Monkey's been more of an invisible monk so far, I think, for Millennium. Not really put too much pressure down, but you also have to say that turret now has fallen super, super low in the mid lane. Nukeduck is still managing to really push up those waves. His Q, not exactly the burst of damage that you might be used to from Kayle that we've seen obviously in the past after the ratios were changed, but he can still knock down towers pretty quickly.
Very, very quickly, and he can clear the wave very fast. That's why, again, Kerp is just staying in the mid lane because you want to make sure his tower doesn't go down too early. And also, ganking the lanes now is a little bit hard, where both Zorozero and then the dual lane in the bottom here for NIP are down towards their own tower, so a lot of pressure from Millennium in the lanes. Hard for NIP, or there's actually no tower, so it could be an option. Still a bit risky to go so deep because Nukeduck will be able to also move down there and join the fight at some point.
Hulberto is waiting. He knows he's not spotted there because of the pink ward that NIP have in that tri-bush. But again, deciding not to go for it. They lost sight of Twisted Fate, and when you've lost sight of him, you never know which side of the map he's going to be on, whether he's actually recalled or what have you, and if he's going to all of a sudden jump in and make that what is your advantage in a fight into an even one.
And that's exactly why Hulberto's been playing so passive, because he doesn't want to start a fight and then Kerp comes in or KottenX is nearby and they turn it around because Nukeduck is still in the mid lane and they end up losing it. So he's just been farming instead, but that's where it's heavily in favor of Millennium, because your jungler scales so well into the late game, where NIP's jungler pretty much just becomes a tank in the late game. Like, he won't be able to kill anyone by himself.
Black Shield from Jree, gonna give him credit there, has been absolutely spot on so far. So he use it there once again. And NIP weren't able to come in. Hulberto had actually come back down to that tri-bush to see if they could actually get involved with it, but in the end, again, nothing pushed through. So that leaves us here 15.5 minutes in almost. 22.3 to 21.2. So still only 1,000 gold between them. This top lane, Kevin, well, he's Jax. And that's what he does best. Look at that turret going down so quickly. Leap strikes off and will lose very little health for all that time that Zorozero is trying to take him.
Blade of the Ruin King is like the go-to signal now for Kevin, just to say, I don't even care about Zorozero anymore because I got so much sustain. That's actually why Nukeduck is forced to move up here, otherwise the tower is going to go down. Kevin staying around for now. Actually just jumped in. Nukeduck will come in here.
Yeah, that's really, really bad news for him. Actually going to try and throw the counter-strike down. There is the Blade of the Ruin King used, and his ultimate, his Leap Strike comes back up with the ward. You don't catch your Jax that easy. And this should open up the Dragon now for Millenium. Dark Binding comes in, has actually landed on towards Mithy. Do they have the damage? That is a good exhaust coming onto Creaton. And the Destiny also popped. They're going to go for Hulberto. Is he going to get away? Stun card comes in. It's Kerp to pick up the kill.
So a kill here for Millenium. Nukeduck rejoined what was remaining of his team at least to try and stop this Dragon. He's staying around here. Everything is ready for Nukeduck, but he might just go into the mid lane and take the tower instead, because both Mithy and Freeze went down to the bottom lane here. Millenium actually cancelled the Dragon to defend the lanes. KottenX though, red buff coming in here. Can Jree land a binding?
Well, he's going to try and push through. They're at pretty max range from this one. They are coming back though, because I mean, see Nukeduck actually coming in. They're going to go for Jree. Solar Flare goes down. Jree going incredibly low as his ultimate comes out. He flashes away. Can he escape? No. Auto attack comes down from Freeze to get the kill.
2 versus 3 here for NIP, turning it around. Black Shield was on cooldown, went on to Jree and just killed him there. Very nice play by the bottom lane, and now Nukeduck here to push it. Hulberto trying to hold the mid lane from Kerp.
And will probably do so as well. This bottom turret though is going down. That's to say Millenium did get the top turret, and that was Kevin who finally pushed that through, even though Zorozero was there. Jax not really caring that anyone's around him to try and stop that. Meanwhile, this mid turret, Hulberto, as he said before, came in to do that one, but a wave clear of Twisted Fate, just far too strong. They don't really go past that turret, and Kerp is going to take it down. That's all 3 outer turrets now taken out by Millenium to the single one that NIP have managed to get.
There's a good response here. Gave up a kill, yes, gave up the bottom lane turret, but then Kerp would just stay in. He's so much stronger than Hulberto, who is very weak at the moment. Didn't even care about him being there, just took down the tower. And of course, up in the top lane, Zorozero still the tower left he needs to get, but Kevin, he's just so strong. Look at him in these fights.
That was a really nice move as well. Used the Blade of the Ruin King to get the speed in there so that the counter-strike could get the stun onto Zorozero. Not quite enough damage in the end, though, to actually kill him, but nonetheless will force him out of that top lane, and he's going to give Kevin a little bit more free from. He's actually slightly behind that of Zorozero, probably mostly because Zorozero has just gone through and taken quite a few of those golem counts as well on his way out.
So NIP at the moment needs to send at least 1 more member up to try and kill Kevin, because again, Zorozero can try and clear the wave and just back off from there. He won't be able to kill Kevin. That's where they need Nukeduck to move up. Hulberto, I'm not even sure if they can 2v1 Kevin. Actually, once there's a Trinity Force on Kevin, it's going to be even harder at least, which is the one he's going towards now. But we need to see if NIP want to send multiple members to try and kill him. And then we of course need to remember, Twisted Fate can always join in. Kha'Zix, if he's nearby with his ultimate, very mobile with his jumps, can get in as well and help out Kevin. And this makes it so scary for NIP when the split pushing really starts.
See Nukeduck already chopping down those waves, got a Sheen in there, and up towards that Lich Bane. Almost getting, he wanted that pink ward, I think, was chased actually out of things. Is Kerp going to get blasted? But not quite got the burst, not got the damage here for this one. However, we are going to see a move towards the Dragon. Hulberto getting completely caught out. He's Lee Sin though, he just jumps off to the pink ward.
Jumps away, Zorozero's down here. Kerp down to 50%, Dragon is still up. Teleport is ready for Kevin though, he just want to push this wave all the way out before he joins in with his team. Seems though NIP don't want to go for the Dragon because they know Kevin can join in, so they're just returning to the lanes.
Might actually look for Kevin here. Both Zero and Nukeduck headed up towards his position, and Kevin's like, I want this one, but he needs to get away there. Nukeduck was coming in for the blue buff, and wisely decided by Kevin to actually back off. A little bit of gold as well to add towards that Trinity Force, which of course already has the Sheen. The Phage now has the Sheen on top of it.
And NIP just need to be very careful they don't let this game go too long, because we already see the issues Kevin give towards them. I mean, how he's just farming away. Sheen picked up now for him, so his upfront burst damage is very high if he gets the 2 stacks from his ultimate, and then the third one, of course, jumps in, Empower Raid, get the hit from it, and then the Sheen, just boom. There's a lot of burst you can do straight into someone. And he's just staying in the top lane. Teleport again is still up for him, so he can always join in for the Dragon, which none of the teams actually started the Dragon yet, just been staying around it to see what happened.
Also have to bear in mind, Kayle also, towards the late game, is going to be a major threat for
Very
Millenium.
much.
Although, you're going to argue now as well, 40% less of a threat than she was before.
Well, yeah, true. Also double exhaust onto the side of Millenium here. Kha'Zix, of course, is hard to take down for Kayle with his ultimate. Black Shield's gonna stop some of the CC coming in, the engage coming in from NIP, so it's gonna be harder for Nukeduck to find his targets. It's gonna make it hard for him, even though he scales well into the late game. So does a Twisted Fate. I mean, there's a lot of damage on Twisted Fate, a lot of wave clear, a lot of tower damage on a Twisted Fate late game.
Now, both teams set up in middle. That turret is so incredibly low, but between Graves and TF, those waves don't make it anywhere near the turret, to be honest. Kerp gets 2 out before the waves can even be cleared by NIP. Top lane as well, just as we expected, is Kevin putting pressure on towards Zorozero. He's trying his best here to keep that farm up. Dropped slightly behind now. See that he has that Sunfire Cape, working up towards the Blade of the Ruin King as well.
He really needs it for the 1v1. I'm not sure if he's gonna keep it as a Cutlass for now and try and go more tanky, so he can provide more, so he can be better in team fights. Because obviously there's a lot of damage from the side of Millenium, like jumping into the face of a Graves who's gonna fire his Q and his ultimate right in your face. I mean, you need to be tanky to survive the burst here from Millenium's side. And obviously he's gonna be the guy in the front line together with Hulberto.
Dragon here warded up by Millenium. Both teams have been very, very cautious around that Dragon area. Speaking of Dragon, both top laners have teleport available for use here as well. Oh, I was going to say getting caught out, but he's managed to get the quick draw off just before the stun actually landed onto Creaton there. That could have been the death of him if he'd not used that quick draw when he did.
Yeah, very good reactions. Just see the animation from the ultimate and you just instantly dash away. Black Shield was not in range, so Jree wouldn't be able to help him in case he had been locked up here. And that's what NIP needs to do. I mean, they are looking to get some picks here because they know time-wise, it's not 100% in their favor. Even though they got a decent enough late game, it's just not the same as Millenium. So they want to try and set something up here. And this Dragon fight, which nobody actually wants to start, could be a very key thing. If NIP gets the team fight here, wins it, and from there on can try and do like they did in game 1, snowball it from there and finish the game before Jax can become this monster, they will still have a chance.
I'll give you a reason as well for Millenium not to fight. That's because Jax has just finished his Trinity Force, which means that Kevin coming into this next fight, if they do start something here at Dragon, will be a lot stronger for Millenium. We'll see about that one. Also, they picked up the, actually that was 3 minutes ago that the Crucible came in, so that was a little bit earlier on that Jree did manage to pick that one up. But we see now, Kevin, these waves just get absolutely decimated.
Zorozero running away, going towards the big Wraith here. They've actually been fighting over it a few times. I think Kevin leads at least. I think he picked up 3, where Zorozero got 1. So
really? You've been counting that?
A little bit. I'm not 100% sure it's correct. There's probably someone who did count it.
Okay, so you're just making it up.
No, I'm pretty sure Kevin got it a few times at least. Someone please correct me if I'm wrong.
Oh, I'm sure they will. Kevin going back there though, that wave had just started to push through. Got the vision down for that all-important
Yes,
Wraith.
it's all about that big Wraith.
Oh, wide as he
Come on,
actually
go
is.
for it. Go for it.
Millenium here are going to move towards the Baron. Not the Baron, the Dragon. That turret was bound to fall anyway. Think it's a good trade if they can stay involved in this one. The question is, will Jax get into the fight here? Will Zorozero try to dive him out of that teleport and stop him from joining in? There's a culling going down.
Good damage.
KottenX actually taking a lot of damage here. He's going to use his ultimate, and there is Nukeduck from the backside. That is a ton of damage coming in, and they managed to lock up all 3 of them. Can they wipe them out? Creaton will fall as well, and it's only Jree to try and walk away from this one, and he will once again locked up. And Nukeduck is coming in. This is a quadra kill for Nukeduck. That is exactly what you didn't want to happen if you're a Millenium fan.
But wow, oh, Kevin going aggressive on the Zorozero, jumping away. However, in this Dragon fight here, we actually just talk about how NIP would like a fight, and then if they can win it, get far ahead and then start snowballing. Gold-wise, of course, they're actually still going to be behind because Kevin should be able to, never mind, backs away. So NIP will be ahead now. Of course, getting the big Wraith, the all-important one. But Nukeduck picking up a quadra kill. Couldn't be any better for NIP. Look at this fight here. A lot of damage already from Freeze just before it starts. KottenX is down to 50%, and then without his ultimate being popped here, he gets stunned, instantly killed. No 50% damage reduction. And then Hulberto actually doing a beautiful move. Combine that with the ultimate from Mithy, locking up multiple members, and then just Nukeduck in the back with Freeze, hammering away, chasing him up. Got the quadra kill, got the Dragon. This is just perfect for NIP. I mean, you want this Kayle here to be so strong in the late game.
Quadra finish off. That is bad news, as I said, for Millenium. 4-0-0. Rabadon's death cap added to that Nash's tooth. We said, okay, you're gonna go Lich Bane next. Well, if that happens to you, 4 kills and a dragon, you can say, you know what, I'm just gonna go straight for the real power. Picks himself up the death cap. Funnily enough, Kevin and Zorozero not even involved in that 4 versus 4 fight.
Yeah, but Kevin did get a lot of damage onto the tower here because, again, Zorozero was forced to ultimate away. Even on his own tower, Kevin was a lot stronger. That's why NIP now sending multiple members. KottenX is nearby though. This could be a 2v3.
It will be a 2v3 by the looks of it. Actually, they dive straight on towards Kevin. Twisted Fate gonna get involved now. Who are they gonna go for? Kerp actually being focused. Nukeduck is gonna go down though. That is a kill for Millenium, but Kevin falling superbly low. Kerp is low as well, and they actually flash onto him. It's a double kill for Zorozero. Now KottenX looking for more. He does get one and then jumps away. All about whether they can land the Q, and he does land the Q. Hulberto follows through, and that was a 4 for 2.
Such a strong fight again by NIP, really taking control of this game. A very smart little thing Millenium actually did was the black shield was onto Kerp when he poured it in for the fight, so he didn't get kicked back by Hulberto, managed to survive, get a kill, but from there on it just wasn't enough. Kevin went down, NIP stayed there and just killed him, finished off the last kill, got double buff onto Hulberto, got a tower, maybe even a second one here. Creaton in response though, gets the mid tower.
Mid turret goes down, but they will get this inner turret on the top lane there. So that leaves us 4-4 tied in towers, 2,000 gold for NIP. 10-4 in kills though, the interesting one. Intervention was used very early in that fight actually from Nukeduck. Probably saving it might have helped him out when he got focused down there by the end of it. It's all ifs and buts though, and to be honest, NIP coming out with the advantage won't be unhappy whatsoever. We didn't see Kerp using that Zhonya's very early. He's also about to finish off that Rabadon's death cap roll the next time that he actually heads home. Already got a need to large rod. And the blasting one, meanwhile Millenium have got themselves some wards down around the Baron. Same goes for NIP though, inside the river. Good vision from their side.
It's going to be hard for NIP as well if they decide to group up and just try and push towards Millenium because of the wave clear from Twisted Fate and of course from Creaton and Graves here. So it's going to be hard for them to just get towards the towers. Unless Nukeduck can find a pick here on Creaton. Wise enough though, clears the wave, backs away, or does he? He's actually going to check him. No vision for Nukeduck, he didn't know he was actually coming towards, saw the ward, instantly Creaton just went back. But that's the thing, NIP, if they can get a kill with Nukeduck here in this side lane, still needs to be careful because exhaust onto Creaton and then the ultimate from Kerp could be something happening and they go 2 versus 1 against him and kill him. Because obviously Kevin up here in the top lane, he's gonna win his 1v1, even against Nukeduck.
Another white picked up by him as well. Really good job of having that one, really been highly contested. We look down the items from those two, of course it was the Blade of the Ruin King and Trinity Force first up for Kevin. On the other side, Blade of the Ruin King done. Also, Randuin's going to be coming in very soon for Zorozero as well. We've got 1:45 until Dragon spawns, and that surely is going to be our next big fight.
Unless NIP decide to just clear the entire vision around this area here and try and force it early. I'm saying early, 29 minutes is of course not early, but...
Early compared to the other games.
True. Trying to force a Baron here, try and force Millenium into a team fight and use this very, very strong Kayle, and of course also Freeze and Lucian is actually doing really well, 3, 0, and 4. So he's going to be very strong, still needs the last Whisper, slightly behind in items compared to Creaton. Once he picks up the last Whisper though, him and Nukeduck should be very, very strong, as long as they can stay safely in the backline and fire away.
Phantom Dancer picked up though for Creaton, and Randuin's done on KottenX as well, so they're a little bit stronger here on Millenium's side as the Q lands from Hulberto. A bit of a suicide mission if he'd have followed that one through though, with 3 men in that mid lane. No need to go for that. However, they do have vision on Kerp. They know that he's going to be doing that blue, which means they'll have a timer on it for next time that it comes up. And also know exactly where Twisted Fate is on the map. I think I've seen the white focus more this game than ever before.
Yep. It's everyone really wants to kill it every single time the poor thing respawns. Just want to go and kill it. Of course, Kevin is still the #1 doing it. I mean, he's a very evil man. And now he actually moved down to the bottom lane. It means for Millenium, if he wins his fight against Zorozero, they can rush towards the Baron. He can join in there. It does, of course, mean he won't be able to start the Baron, only him and, let's say, Creaton, if they want to try and sneak it because he's down the bottom lane. Then we need him up in top lane to push it out and then rotate towards it. But they did decide to put him down bottom lane here. NIP responded though, sent Zorozero down just to clear the wave again.
Zorozero will push that one out. Actually, Dragon is now up and Millenium already in position. This time they've got Kevin with them. This time Zorozero's there as well, as we are going to see them going straight in for Zorozero, and he actually dives the other way. Kerp would actually come around the side, which means quite a decent amount used from this one. Destiny they could use to get full vision control over, or spot where everyone from NIP isn't going to be available. There is the Dragon going to be started off, going down very, very quickly. Who's going to get the better of this one? The culling goes out. There is the Solar Flare used as well. Kevin is actually still over there by the Dragon as Mithy's gone very, very deep. Gets himself locked up. It's Kevin right to the middle. He manages to stun the entire team. And now Zorozero with no ultimate's going to go down. That's a double kill for Jax. Exactly the wrong person if you're an NIP player that they wanted to get the double kills, and a Dragon that swings the goal back towards Millenium.
And this team fight here, Mithy goes in for engage, but nobody actually follows him. I mean, everyone else was just staying back a little bit, so he went in by himself. He was forced to flash out. And then Millenium, as soon as Mithy was so low, as soon as the CC was gone, they could just rush onto them. Kevin could join in after the Dragon died, pick up 2 kills. Just a very uncoordinated team fight by NIP. Some members went in. Look at here. Notice here. Mithy goes in all by himself. Zorozero, no ultimate. It's gone. So he's just going to run back. Mithy's all alone here. Flashes out. Now Kevin, notice him jumping in. Flash jump. Stuns.
Wow.
Everyone. That was beautiful. That pretty much won the entire fight actually for Millenium. And then also he takes 2 kills as his reward for that beautiful flash leap strike stun to everyone.
Not often you see that actually do that much. We saw the Mikhail's actually used by Mithy on himself there as well to actually get out of that one, which,
yeah, he had to.
You know, he was pretty much already dead anyway, I feel. How low he'd gone from that one, whether he'd have got out or not, maybe would have been wiser to save Zorozero, but, well, that's all easy when you've got 20/20 hindsight vision like we have. Millenium here, gonna push down once again. Kevin just going back to that rinse and repeat. They've managed to stun up Zorozero though. There is a counter strike coming in as well. Have they got enough to finish? The Randuin's obviously slowing them down to a crawl. They are, however, gonna get the turret.
Great use of Twisted Fate here. Because of all the pressure from Jax, he can join in, take a very easy tower, and maybe even come in behind NIP here if they want to collapse and want to fight. Seems not just want to back away here.
Solar Flare was used, by the way, there from Mithy.
Trying to set something up, but didn't connect. Obviously, the Black Shield again from Jree makes it very hard to actually start a fight.
And, you know, got to take a couple of risks, I think, with skills like that. If you do catch someone out, then start a run, get some objectives off it. Didn't work out for them, though. And Millenium are, of course, still in the lead in this one. We see the Rabadon's death cap now completed for Kerp. On the other side, though, Lich Bane is added into that death cap. And the Stinger, not the Stinger, the Nash's Tooth, of course, for Nukeduck. So NIP once again get vision control. Phase check could be pretty brutal if it's Kerp. Other side of it, if he manages Zhonya's fast enough, that gives the time for the rest of his team to come in.
Gives time for Kevin to teleport in as well. John, but he's down the bottom lane again. He's gonna go all the way up to this tower. NIP is forced to either recall and defend, or start up the Baron and force him to teleport. It seems Zorozero recall to try and defend his wave. And now we've reached a point where, or we're actually the point NIP's been in the last few games, where we come into this like 35-minute point, and because they're not ahead or because they don't know what to do in the situation, it's just being stalled out by Millenium, and they're perfectly happy just playing the game, just letting Kevin farm all the time. They don't need to do anything, Millenium. And so we might be in for the same thing we've seen the last 2 games, where Millenium just farm on for the next 10-15 minutes.
And why not? It's been a tried and tested method for them so far. Kevin again, just knocking down a few creeps. Got a Banshee's Veil and Warden's Mail now in there. And he will just back straight off from things. They're going to push out this top lane. In fact, they've already done that one. KottenX is going to go back home. I'm guessing he's got a decent amount of money to actually be spending from this one. The Culling actually coming through good damage to Kerp, and that Dark Binding actually could have been quite important for him. Kerp tanking up a lot of damage from Freeze. And NIP are now moving over towards the Baron. Look at this, Kerp is recalling. Are they going to start it out? There's vision at the backside. Will they take that and go for it? Still very, very risky. They know that Millenium are hanging around. Millenium know that this is happening as well, surely.
Ultimate is ready for Kerp. Used here. Full vision of everyone. Both these top laners here, they want to teleport in, but they can actually interrupt each other. So we need to see who does it first or if they just stay. NIP for now, though, just backing away after the ultimate was used by Kerp. And nothing really happened from it. NIP did the right thing, though. They tried to find a pick here. Freeze went very aggressive towards Kerp. Tried to get a kill so they could start up this Baron. Because they know at the moment that's their way in. Because if they go and just try and push down the tower, it's very, very hard against all the wave clear from Millenium. And they don't want to risk Kevin teleporting in behind them. And then just the whole fight could collapse on them and they would lose.
Stunning 5 of them up again.
That was beautiful, by the way.
Not something that you can land every time, that's for sure. Kevin and Zorozero, if you look at their farm, considering we're now 36 minutes in, they're up at around 370 farm. Very, very even between the two. Same can't really be said between the mid laners though. 390 to 316. AD carries are pretty level as well in this one, but that 3-0-4 scoreline for Freeze, something that is going to give him a bit of a boost. However, NIP once again are going to be moving in. They just spotted that ward was actually planted at the back, means that Mithy can take that one down very easily, and Millenium going to have to go back in, place some wards of their own. Dragon's actually coming up in 3/4 of a minute, which I feel is maybe a more realistic target for both sides at this stage.
But not really a target that's going to do too much from the game. At this point now, we're getting into the late game. Yes, Dragon will give more gold in the late game, but still, both these teams, I mean, one team is looking to just extend the game, the other team is looking for an opening. And getting the Dragon is not going to be the thing for NIP. It's not going to be the one where they can say, now we can finally start push up or dive onto you or something. They do have a fairly decent comp to actually dive Millenium if they get ahead, if they get a Baron buff. Of course, with their ultimate from Nukeduck to whoever is tanking the tower. And a lot of tanky members in both Mithy, Hulberto and Zorozero who can tank up the tower. So they could dive onto them if they do get ahead, but they're behind in goal now. Dragon is up. Just at the moment, Creaton already starting it, so NIP really need to react fast if they want to stop this one.
Don't think they can be fast enough for that one. No, it goes over to Millenium. Will they try and start a fight? Actually, they're running up through the Millenium jungle here. Going to go straight towards that inner tower. And you see the speed that Nukeduck gets there when he throws that heal on himself, and he absolutely destroys turrets at this stage.
Yeah, really does a lot of damage, but here Millenium from the back.
Coming around the side, KottenX actually taking a lot of damage. A little bit split up here on Millenium, but they've managed to force them away there. That turret didn't actually go down in the end.
Ultimate wasn't used by Nukeduck, still got it ready in case they want to try and fight again from NIP side. KottenX, of course, with his ultimate being gone, he needs to be careful. He can't just jump in because he's going to be a squishy target then. Well, not squish, but squishier at least than before. Seems though both teams happy just disengaging, backing away. Then we can just send Kevin out in the side lane again to do the same thing. Zorozero will be there to try and defend, and then it's going to be all about the 4 members from both teams, what they can actually set up here. Mithy needs to try and land and engage, and then they just have to get a kill or two, get the Baron for NIP, and that could be the opening for them.
After that, Dragon Randoins was finished there by Kevin. Aegis for Jree. Spectre's Cowl as well on KottenX, so your items coming in that will maybe make a difference next time these two teams face off in a fight. Again, worried here how much damage Nukeduck's going to do. We saw him in that last fight where they chased. Granted, it was a sloppy fight, sloppy play, I think, from Millenium that allowed them to get into that position anyway, but Nukeduck absolutely wiped the floor with them. Then again, the fight after that, it was Kevin that set everything up, and Millenium came 2-0 out of that one, so still a lot to be decided in this game. One thing that has swung, though, is, of course, Millenium have got themselves a healthy gold lead, and you know, 3,000 is still not a lot at 40 minutes, but it's been the biggest difference that we've had in this game so far.
And it's a lot when you have a very good late game comment. Zorozero now taking a lot of damage.
Not as easy anymore to actually get away from this. So there's another stun card coming in, but they were scared of the rest of the team, and rightly so. NIP have pushed 4 members down towards this bottom side, but again, that one single ward that Millenium have by the red buff spotted them all coming, and they were able to back off. Now we've got 4 members of Millenium here, up against 4 because Zorozero has actually backed away as well, and now we see that KottenX will move down to support the rest of his team. There's a lot of wards going on in there though for NIP.
A lot of vision control from both teams are trying to get the vision control here. Nukeduck might be caught out.
Oh, they are going down to Nukeduck, and he's going to go down before the use of intervention. Good kick from Hulberto, though, will stop them from chasing on for any more, but this bottom inner turret, that's a goner. They can't save that now, I don't think.
No, Millenium, they can keep pushing here. 50 seconds on Nukeduck. Very nice setup. First a stun from Kevin, then a flash stun again from Kerp, giving him no chance to use his ultimate. Instantly bursting him down. No Black Shield, of course, because Morgana is on the other side, which is the big difference between the two teams competing in the late game.
It was a 50-second spawn timer as well here. Millenium might be able to get some damage down. They are going to stun up Hulberto. Dark Binding comes through as well, which will land, but struggling to really push through on that one. Here comes another wave though. This is where things may just change. Zorozero getting up front, that turret down to half HP. Kevin has to back away. Creaton trying to finish things off. They've stunned up Jree as well. Now's the signal to back away. 14 seconds for Nukeduck. The culling coming through. It's all catching on to Creaton, but have they got enough to finish it off? Zorozero has his ultimate. KottenX turns around. Kerp tried to get his stun card off as well, but they're going to keep going on this one. Zorozero does get stunned up. KottenX may just sacrifice himself here. No, he's popped his ultimate. He's going to jump over the top of the golems. He'll be able to walk away.
Great disengage by Millenium. They didn't get the tower though. Needed one more hit from either Creaton or Kerp to go down. Survived, but then they just disengaged away. 4 members from NIP chased towards them. Could just never really get onto them. I mean, it's so mobile. Black Shield as well. They're rushing towards this Baron. Entire Millenium is coming from the base. Kerp already teleported down. Teleport from Kevin as well. This one is going to be very risky for NIP.
Wow, it's down to almost half HP already, but here comes Kevin.
The jungler's gone.
Yeah, it's got to back. They've got to surely just pull away from this one. Hulberto was off on the south side. Kevin moving in there with his Banshee's Veil glowing around him is a very scary man to be going up against. The culling comes out actually cancelled there by Freeze, wasn't connected anyway. And that will be Baron successfully stopped here by Millenium.
So NIP did force out the teleport from Kevin. Also the ultimate from Kerp, buying them a little bit of time where they can try and do something on the map. I mean, teleport is ready for Zorozero. He could go to side lane, force someone from Millenium there, and then try and set up a fight in the mid lane. Seems though NIP do not feel confident enough actually pushing too far out. Really afraid of this Millenium lineup, and they should be, because they've really been performing when it comes to team fights, especially in the late game.
43 minutes. Approaching that late game territory that we've been familiar with from our last couple of games.
I think we are in it.
Well, there's still another 20 minutes, which is half of the game so far, if we're to match up with the other previous game. Game 1 was actually 33 or 34 minutes, which is about the average time that NIP, funnily enough, had been winning their challenger games in, or they've not done one faster than that before, let's put it that way. Look here, just checking out the Baron pick once again, and wants him to just completely speed himself up. Kevin, though, is the man that they have to keep in check. Just trying to waste a bit of time until his teleport comes up and he can, again, just force their hand.
And he's gonna get a Guardian Angel, most likely as his next item, and he's so tanky, so much damage, it's gonna be very, very hard to deal with him. Guardian Angel also on KottenX, he's going to looking to do the same thing here. Oh, they're going towards Kevin.
Yeah, but what are they going to do to him? That's a lot of damage actually coming in, but he jumps away from it. KottenX in the middle of the team. There is a Dragon's Descent into the middle of them. The ultimate used out of them as well, but they're turning around this damage. They're going to go back in onto it. KottenX will get the slowdown from the side. Here comes Kevin. They've slowed down 2 of them, stunned up 2 of them rather, but they still manage to walk off. Everyone on NIP around half HP. Millenium here going to go just in time for the Dragon.
Getting the Dragon here. We saw first Kevin actually being caught out of position. KottenX though, he jumped in, popped his ultimate, actually managed to get out. Didn't even have to use his Guardian Angel. And then we just see both teams. None of them actually had enough damage to take someone down. They went in there for the fight. Millenium disengaged at first, turned around, then NIP disengaged. None of the teams with enough damage to kill anyone.
So we're going to see them just backing off here once again. Let's have a look how much gold there is to spend. Actually not masses. 1,400 for Jax. 1,1200 as well for Twisted Fate in that mid lane. So we'll see about that one. And as you say, Guardian Angel, when that comes in onto Kevin, it's going to make him a lot more comfortable jumping into the enemy team and staying there for longer, which, you know, if he's got his Counter-Strike running like he has in the last couple of team fights, actually done really well with the timing on that one. Major headache for Ninjas in Pyjamas. Gold is now to 4.5, wait a minute, 6,500. It's getting late. These have been long games. You can't expect me to do maths and long games. That's definitely not in my repertoire. But the Baron again was just cleared out. There's just that one single ward at the front side. KottenX here coming around to help out Creaton, who by the way picked up an Infinity Edge on his last trip home.
And also Kerp almost got enough gold for the Lich Bane, which of course is going to be the last power spike item for him. Going to get so much damage once he actually get to a tower.
Yeah.
And also just his upfront damage, like his burst damage towards the first target from NIP coming towards him. It's going to be a very big deal. And Millenium at the moment just want to wait for these last few items. Again, you see them giving all the farm over to Kevin so he can get the Guardian Angel. You want Kerp to get the Lich Bane before they seek any fights, and it's very, very smart because again, they are in control, and Creaton actually just pulled the Baron.
shot it the once and then starts attacking Kerp. Not exactly what you want, and they need to be careful here though. NIP are moving back in position there. And again, they exchange wards on the front side of that Baron pit. And the Guardian Angel is now there for Kevin. KottenX got a Guardian Angel. Yep. Some scary moments maybe coming up for Ninjas in Pyjamas. They themselves not so close to a GA, to be honest, on that front. And we're seeing a Zhonya's coming out by the looks of it from Nukeduck. He's got at least some extra protection in there from that one. A couple of Banshee's Veils as well across the rest of the team. I'll stop maybe the stun coming out of Twisted Fate or from or the Counter-Strike from Jax if he does it, and again get another 4 or 5 man stun off like we've seen him in previous fights. Millenium, if you're just joining us, you can see the scoreboard at the top. They're 2-1 up in this game. They win this one, they will be holding on to their position in the LCS. Baron is going to be started off. Here comes the teleport down the back, but is he going to be alone? Kevin is right in the middle of them. He's going to stun up 3. Millenium looking to turn this one around. A lot of damage on the backside though from Nukeduck. He's already used his intervention, and Kerp just stopped all that damage coming in with the fact that he was able to use the Zhonya's. Good kick. Nukeduck's gone down to KottenX though, and there is the flash into the dark binding. It was Mikhail's which actually got Mithy away from him, but look at this. KottenX is coming around the side. Guardian Angel still intact. There's another 3-man stun coming in from Kevin. They get another kill. Can they get Zorozero? Exploded, and Kevin still going for it. That's a 3 for nothing in favor of Millenium. Now they're going to go back to Baron.
So as soon as the Guardian Angel were completed by Kevin, he walked down to the bottom lane and Millenium just walked straight to the Baron. They wanted to force NIP to move there. They wanted to force a fight, and it worked for them. NIP went in there to try and stop it. Nukeduck was halfway through the fight. He couldn't do more. His intervention was gone. He has no mana. KottenX couldn't chase him and kill him. And then again, Millenium are just so tanky. They can just extend these fights. Look here. Nukeduck here in the side using... He's actually almost from the start. He's going to be the target first from here on. His mana is gone. He's basically not going to be able to do much other than try and kill Kerp. Zhonya's meanwhile though up here in the top. KottenX will kill Nukeduck. Get the kill onto him. But up here, the big thing, the 4v4 going on. Millenium with the disengage, and then once they actually feel like now we have the advantage with KottenX also moving around, they chase on towards it, get another great stun from Kevin, jump in with the rest of the team. Both Guardian Angels are still up for both KottenX and Kevin. This was not even a close fight.
Really worrying signs as well for Ninjas in Pyjamas.
Well, it's late game. Again, Millenium with the better late game comp. NIP failed to do anything on the map early on. They didn't actually get a lead. Millenium played really well as a team here. And as soon as they get to these late game team fights, that's where they get their reward because they are just so strong.
And here we go. Can they take down this turret? Actually, they're going to go for Crimson. He got a little bit too far forward, and that is a lot of damage coming his way. He's going to get focused. Nukeduck actually is going to blow him up. KottenX may find himself in trouble. He jumps away from that one. Flashes as well. He's used his ultimate, so they shouldn't be locking him down, or they do. It's Freeze that lands the final damage. His GA gets popped, and it's easy to finish him off after that.
This
now
could be an
2 men down. 70 seconds for KottenX, 60 as well for Creaton. This is bad for Millenium.
Ninjas in Pyjamas just need to push all the way up. They have to get an inhibitor from this. Creaton, he moved in as the front guy to hit the tower, took a lot of damage, and then they engaged. Black Shield was late from Jree, so the stun landed onto him, and it was easy for NIP to get the kill. They might even try and go to finish this game.
This could be interesting.
Intervention is ready.
He's going to be absolutely gutted about this one if this could be the end of the game. Kerp taking a bit of a blast. Kevin is probably the savior for them, though, in this scenario. He's the one that's got to do all the work.
There's the tower
coming through. They're going to try and go for this one. Zorozero at the back is going to be picked up by Kevin. They're going to go straight in here, though. Mithy going very low. Kevin is still hammering away. One of those Nexus turrets go down. Double kill for Kevin. They're going to focus down the second. Can they finish up the game?
No way.
5 seconds coming in for Creaton, and they are going to pick up the Nexus. And what the hell? Ninjas in Pyjamas pick up the game. Millenium making the mistake which may end up costing them their place in the LCS. Incredible finish to that game. It looked almost like it was done and dusted here for Millenium with those last team fights. And they've just gone and lost it. And now it's 2-2. It all comes down to the final game.
This game was won by Millenium until Creaton got too greedy for the tower, stood as the first guy in the front line, took a lot of damage, and then the Black Shield from Jree, once the ultimate came down from Mithy, was too late. He got locked down, he got stunned, and they just killed him instantly. Big mistake by Millenium. They were far ahead in gold, they had a great comp for this one. It was really their game, and then NIP just one mistake. Well, two you can say with Jree, it's a delayed Black Shield here. 2 mistakes then from NIP in one fight, instant turn around and just rush towards the Nexus.
And you have to give credit to NIP, you know, they were gifted that on a plate and
they took it.
They took it. They absolutely did. Just pushing on straight through from that one. Yes, maybe you'd say, did they have to risk it there by the end? Those spawn times were so long. I mean, we were 51 minutes into that game. It didn't feel like quite the long game that it was in the end. Kills were tied. They were behind by 6,000 gold almost. And that just goes to show at that stage of the game, that late on, you cannot afford to make a mistake however far forward you are.
100%. I mean, it doesn't matter how good of a team you are. Make one mistake in the late game, like we just saw here, and then everything can be turned around. People can rush down, take your base. I mean, especially Creaton is going to feel very down after this one. So he just needs to get back up here because, again, Millenium, they were in control. They did everything right in this game. They had, okay, except for the Dragon fight where the quarter kill happened for Nukeduck. But still, they were in the lead. They had a very good comp. They can go into this next game still with confidence and just try and ignore this game here. Of course, for NIP, though, this is going to be the victory they needed to say, one more game, everything can happen. Even though we are 10,000 goals behind, we can still win the game and just go in and believe.
They shouldn't have won that game, though,
nope.
Which I'm now going to ask you, do they change the plan? I mean, Kevin was an absolute pain for them. KottenX was an absolute pain for them. Did they say, okay, Nocturne wasn't as bad as the Kha'Zix was, or vice versa, and keep it how it was? Did they say the same between Rax and Jais, or Jax and Rise is what I was actually trying to say?
Well, personally, I would actually give them something like Kha'Zix again, and just ban both Rise and Jax away from Kevin. Early pick something like the Shyvana for Zorozero here and see what Kevin then will bring up, because Kevin's been playing these late game champs in every single game now. Or of course Aurelia could be a choice as well. It was banned away in the last one, but could still be a choice for Zorozero. I would target towards Kevin, because he's Jax this game. NIP knew, once we first picked this Lucian, we didn't ban Jax, we didn't ban Kha'Zix. They knew the first two picks here. And yet, they didn't really have an answer for them. Shyvana is not the answer against Jax here. Yes, he could farm, but all the pressure was for Jax.
Well, I'm mistaken. What NIP will surely see as a bit of a lucky break brings them back to 2-2 in this best of 5. It all comes down to that final series. But before we get to that, I'm going to send things over to Shock, Steven, and Dexter for more about that game.
Thank you very much, guys. Whoa, what an incredible series. This is shaping up to be, it's going to be winner-take-all Game 5. Let us break down picks and bans. First pick Lucian over to NIP, which is something that we actually thought they would do a couple of games earlier, which did leave Kha'Zix and Jax the first pick for Millenium. What did you make of the strategy of both teams?
I don't think they prioritized Lucian that hard, because they just left it open all the 2 games. But I think it's a really good first pick in this patch right now. So Graves, it's like a skill matchup. Lucian vs Graves is like a skill matchup, and if they're confident in their ability to win any lane, then Lucian is definitely a good pickup, but I don't agree with leaving up Jax, so...
I mean, what do we take from that game? Because there were so many different things happening. There was a 5-man Jax Counter-Strike stun. Yeah. There was a Baron, a great Baron fight, honestly. Nukeduck screwed up, but I mean, in terms of plays, after what? They were 50 minutes into that. They just had that great fight with the Baron, and then they pushed. Is that just blood boil? You're just going too aggressive? Because clearly they needed to back at that point.
Yeah, I think the game was over at that point. After the Baron, I was like, okay, this is GG. They have the better champions in teamfights. They can just kite and back. They have a Morgana with a TF together. It's like chain CC for 5 seconds. And Shyvana is really a non-factor compared to Jax. So yeah, I think it was just a misplay from Millenium. Like, it was not really good play by NIP. It was just straight up misplay by Millenium.
So from that, I mean, how does your mental stability go after that? I mean, you've just gone 2-1, and then suddenly you were about to win the game, and are we going to be back in the LCS? And no, we're suddenly in a winner-takes-all game.
The most important thing about this is don't change your game plan. Like, stick to what you want to do. And I think if we see a similar champion selection, that Millenium can win. But yeah, it can also go to NIP. But I think NIP should just stick with Ryze and Nocturne ban, and maybe add the Jax ban, and then it's like equal playing field. So top lane doesn't have a high scaling top laner then, and yeah, KottenX didn't really have that much of an impact on Kha'Zix as he had on Nocturne.
Yeah, scaling seems to be the central word here, because you said the main thing will be they have to pick champions that can outscale. They didn't really succeed, but what did you make of the comp in terms of trying to counter every scaling element that was on Millenium?
I think Millenium misplaying the Dragon with the quadruple for Kayle was really unnecessary. Like, Dragon is not worth it. If you have a fat Jax who can just one-on-one top lane, and you know that you can't contest it, just leave it. Dragon is not worth it, so... We learned it the hard way in CLG too. Dragon is not worth anything in early game, just leave it. If you can get farm on your Jax or something, don't even risk it, because you know that you will outscale them 100%. So yeah, I think that was the biggest misplay that got NIP the advantage. And even when NIP didn't really use the advantage, it kept them in the game somehow. So yeah, it was just like Millenium taking advantage of NIP's really passive game and then throwing it away. And that not only once, so... They just have to play it correctly and know what they have to do and know their win conditions.
So obviously all 4 games so far have been 50+ minutes. Do they suddenly take a gamble and go, let's go for the really early game strategy and just try and rush them? Because clearly Millenium are comfortable when it goes long.
Well, at this point I know that Millenium will pick Soraka or Ziggs again probably, because it will be open. And NIP wants the same champions, I think. So yeah, we just have to see how it works out. And like, it can work out that they can just stall for 50 minutes again and hope for the better late game, or they can just go for hyper aggression early game. But I think we can expect another 50-minute game, to be honest.
If we look at some lanes where things could possibly go different, something that has been kind of strange to me is the absence of Caitlyn altogether, something that would work very well with the Nidalee last game, for instance. Why do you think it is that these teams don't prioritize that here?
I don't know, actually. It's like every team has Lucian preference, actually, because he's like the best AD carry by far. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I think Lucian has the highest priority for both teams. Even when NIP wanted to leave it open, I don't think they wanted to risk it that something can happen. But yeah, I think they will pick it on the first rotation on purple this game.
So we know what you think they would do. What would you do if we were in this position right now? What would be going through your brain? You know, you're backstage, talking to your team, you've got a 10-minute break between the games.
Yeah.
What do you say? Do you stay quiet? Do you talk to your team? Do you know, is there some sort of moral words of wisdom you can pull out here? Because I don't know.
I don't think I'm the right person for the words of wisdom or something, because I'm tilting really hard too. Like, it can happen, you know? You need someone else that does it, but I would just say, okay, guys, stick to the game plan, and yeah, let's try it again. We beat them. We know we can beat them for both teams.
Yeah.
And yeah, if people and teams play to their strength, I think both can win. So just have to see if it works out.
Yeah, you have shown a lot of words of wisdom at this table here already today, so don't sell yourself short. Guys, predictions, and a winner takes all. Game 5, it's all on the line. Dexter, who's going to come out on top?
I think Millenium.
See, I said NIP right at the start, and I think they may edge it. I think after that finish, that's going to be gutting for Millenium. So I'm going to see NIP may steal it here.
Going to be very close, and with the two teams tied neck and neck, we need to take a brief break to catch our breath for Game 5. One of these two squads will head into the LCS, and we'll find out who that is when we return.
Jax. You got him?
Yeah.
We're moving top. Nice, Zorozero. He has no, he will jump again though. We're moving. I will catch him. There's no flash. Well,
What
my bad. Sorry, I failed.
Someone
Yeah. Okay.
Nice!
Nice!
Toro! Han ett cut!
Nice!
Tack!